right, how you guys doing? What's up? Welcome to the Messy Sweet Spot. And boy, do we have a lot of stuff to talk about. And I'm looking at my screen and I don't think I like how majestic. So I want to try to see if I can change it just a little bit. I don't even know if I can change it now because it's too late. But nonetheless, how are you guys doing tonight? I hope you guys are doing pretty well. So it is a lot dealing with these celebrities. I mean, you have DV case after DV case after DV case. Hold on, I want to see if I can do a little thing. Hold up, okay? How are you guys doing? All right. What's going on? If you guys can hear me well, please press a 3 so I know you guys can hear me really good. Okay, look, have you ever? I just left and came back, and I just don't like the angle. Have you ever been that way? That's how I'm feeling right now. And I'm starting to get irritated because I like things done a certain way. Okay, all right, so I'm glad that you guys can hear me while I'm trying to adjust a little bit. Don't mind me. Don't mind me, okay? I can never be satisfied. I can never be satisfied. I promise you, I'm never satisfied. It's just always, hold on. Am I messing? Hold on, give me 1 minute. let me change something real quick. Okay, bam. Okay. Let me do it right there. All right, so earlier today we did talk about Diddy. So we're gonna talk about Diddy and Cassie tonight. We're also gonna talk about DDG and Hailey Bailey. I talked about her yesterday, and it's more information that has come forward. DDG mom is speaking out, and she is calling Hailey Bailey a liar. Not only is the mom of DDG saying Hailey Bailey is a liar, a lot of DDG friends are saying Hailey Bailey is a liar. They even have a spear video that is painting her in a horrible way with her own words. Yeah, it's a video that they have cropped it up and edited, and it paints her as like a horrible person, and it's in her own words. So I want you guys to take a look at that as well. Also, the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion case is here, and it is more details coming out. Come to find out, Tory Lanez did not pow her. According to the bodyguard said that it came from Kelsey's own words that Kelsey had the gun. She shot 3 times. Tory Lane tried to get the gun away from her by pulling Kelsey's arm down. It shot 2 more times, and I guess the 2 times it shot, it went and it hit Megan Thee Stallion. Now people want to know, well, Tory, you were there. Why didn't you speak out? They are saying Tory did not speak out because he did not want to be a snitch. I think that is just the most ridiculous thing out here. But I think a lot of things that people do on social media in the celebrity realm is just ridiculous. So if you didn't want to snitch, I cannot blame you for going to jail. I mean, you got what you deserve. That's how I feel. You should have snitched and spoke out. But hey, that's what no snitching gets you. 14 stabs. He got stabbed 14 times recently, and people feel like, hey, somebody wants him dead. Somebody wants him dead. People are pointing to Rock Nation. People are pointing it's somebody higher. The higher elites have been gunning for him. People feel like the higher elites is using Megan Thee Stallion to take down Tory Lanez. They feel that the higher elites is using Cassie to take down Diddy. Now, when it comes to DDG and Hailey Bailey, I mean, do you think Jay-Z is using Hailey Bailey to tear down DDG? And for what reason? I don't know. I don't know what DDG has gotten itself into where she is trying to destroy him. And if he has done it, I play no sides. If it's true, put out the webcam. Hailey Bailey says she has a camera, a front door camera, where you can see DDG just acting crazy, tearing off her camera. They say that he is violent. Yeah, just like Diddy is violent, just like Tory is violent. And isn't it interesting? All three of these men are violent towards women. Okay. And I don't know what it is. Is it men hate women or women like to be with men that hate them? Which one is it? One side, I hear men hate women. They just hate women. And if that's so, then women love to be with men that hate them. So why do women love to be with men that hate them? I have no idea. The flags are always there. The red flags are always there. When it comes to Diddy, Tory Lanez, and DDG, they all been dogs. It's not like they woke up one morning and decided, hey, I wanted to be a dog. They've been dogs. These girls know they were getting in the doghouse when they got in there, but they take it until they can't take it. They like it until they don't like it. So, and they have every right to speak out, especially when crimes have been done to them, which crimes have been done to all of them. Crimes have been done to Megan Thee Stallion, according to her. According to Hailey Bailey, she said DDG committed crimes towards her, violent, verbal. I mean, you name it, chipped her teeth. Her teeth is broken. She showed bruises of herself. Some people question it, but that's what she says. And Cassie, you know the horrible stuff that she got into. She said that Diddy raped her. And she said after he raped her, she did have sex with him willingly because I believe she was in love with the fame and in love with the lifestyle. She didn't love him. Diddy don't love himself. Cassie don't love herself. And this just is, it shows you what you get when you chasing fame and all of this celebrityism. Okay. And I know a lot of times when we talk about Cassie and you say, well, she's 19, she's young. Well, let me ask you this, because a lot of you guys are Christians, right? So, not all, but some of you all. Well, to the Christians, this is what I want to know. The reason why I asked that because I was raised Christian, you know what I'm saying? When you're 19 and it's judgment day, are you going to tell God, well, I was just 19, God, you know? Do you think that's going to fly with him? Do you think that's going to fly with God? Well, I was just 19. Okay. Maybe you guys think that can be a pass, okay? I want to know. Press one if that's going to fly. Press two, do you think that your God is going to hold you accountable at the age of 19 if you know right from wrong? Okay. I just have to ask. I just have to ask here at the Messy Sweet Spot. That's all. All right. So let's get into things. I'm going to be looking in the comment section because I want to see what you guys have to say. And I like to respond back to what you guys have to say out here. Evil Kings at 13. I don't know why I have to cough. Hey, CC29. Didn't she say she was 22 on the stand? Possibly. I was not there in the court. What I heard was she met him at 19. That is what the people told me. And the people tell so many lies. So a lot of times when it comes to the Cassie and Diddy, I don't know what to believe because I was told that she was stuck in the basement. She was locked up in the dungeons, in the tunnels. Why nobody is talking about them damn tunnels? I thought it was a big thing about Diddy. He locked people up in the tunnels, you know, and that's where they were doing the freak offs. Come to find out, it was at hotels, you know. She met him at the hotel, then she went back home. She went back home. Let that sink in. Okay. So let's talk about it. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Somebody said, yeah, I remember that part. Put hands on August for no reason. Uh, Okay. And you're saying 22. You're talking about Cassie said she was 22 on the stand? Okay. All right. So who do you guys want to delve into first? Should we delve into what girl? Kelsey, if you want to go, no, if you want to talk more about Tory and Meg, hashtag Tory and Meg. Should we talk about them first? Should we talk about Cassie first? Hashtag Cassie. Or should we talk about DDG and Hailey Bailey? Hashtag DDG or Hailey Bailey. Which one should we talk about first? We're going to talk about all of them. I do have some videos I would like to react to a little bit with you guys while we're talking about it. All right. So Jerome said Cassie. Okay. I'm looking here and I got into a little argument. Okay, that's a dog outside. I wouldn't be saying nothing about my past if I'm happily married with a check. Oh, well, I think that you guys have to understand this. A lot of people feel like, Cassie, you got that money you wanted, you got the fame you wanted. Why don't you just sit back? But she can't because she is a puppet. You don't see that Cassie is a puppet. Cassie, I don't know if she likes it, but she is a personality. She gets manipulated and she can be bought out. Cassie already sold her soul. So I believe that the higher ups use Cassie to take Diddy down. And the transactional thing is we can get you money. That 30 million, 50 million, you can have it. But in turn, you do have to be our pawn to take Diddy down for all the horrible things that he did to you and everybody else. And that's what I think the transactional is. I don't think that she possibly wants to do it, but she's a good actress and she likes to pretend and that she's into something when she's really not into something. Just like at the Diddy stuff, she said that she was not into it, but she pretended like she was into it. And I think it's no different here. She's doing this, but she really don't want to do it, but she does it because of the money and the agreement that she made with the higher ups. Okay. And I think that she is being manipulated like she's always been. It's nothing different. And how do I feel about it? I really don't care. If that's what she wants to do to get her money, so be it. I'm not mad at her for it. I definitely believe that both of these people, Cassie and Diddy, they love to play on the devil's playground and you get burned. So, Diddy, you get burned for playing on the devil's playground for so long. Cassie, you got burned for playing on the devil's playground. Because this is the stuff that you wanted. You idolized Hollywood. You sold your soul to get into Hollywood. You would have did anything. I mean, if Diddy told her to hide the pizza boxes, she would have did it because she said, I was so scared. I would have touched the kids. I mean, she would have let a little kid do horrible stuff or probably did horrible stuff to little kids because she was so scared. I mean, when is enough actually going to be enough? It's never enough because she's so scared. So those type of personalities I am frightened of because they'll do anything out of fear. A lot of people with morals and values, they don't care. They just not going to go for it. They're not doing it. They rather say, hey, this is my last day on earth before I do something like that. And people would say, well, she was afraid that he was going to kill her. Well, if I'm afraid that you're going to kill me, the last thing I'm going to do is go to your hotel because you're going to kill me. You're the killer. Okay. I would rather die fighting to get away from you than die under you, if that makes sense. Okay. Because a person that's abusive, they're going to kill you regardless. So I'd rather just die screaming and fighting for my survival versus you just kill me and I'm just in the corner and with my hands closed, ready to go. I'm going to scream and fight. But everybody's not built the same. We're all different. So, and I don't think it has to do with the age. I know people that's younger than 19 that have standards and morals and would fight, and won't do certain things no matter how much money you offer them. People just won't do it. Some young people won't do it. And I'm sure some 50-year-olds that will do things for money, you know? So that's just that. So I love reading your comments and I love to go back and forth with you all. Diddy hired him so Alec knows the treatment. Don't trust Alex. I don't trust nobody. Why would I trust any of them? They all are part of Hollywood. And Hollywood fight amongst each other. Satan people fight amongst each other. I wouldn't trust any of them. You know, they are duking it out. It's just like gangsters or people in the hood when the Bloods fight against the Crips. Now, does that make the Bloods better than the Crips? Does that make the Crips better than the Bloods because one is playing victim and the other one is not? No, they're both horrible. They both gangsters. They just duking it out. So let the best person wins. That's how I see it. You know, I have in the past decided to, I'm going to team on this person. I'm going to team on that person. But after really thinking about it, it's time to really take a neutral stance, you know? All right. So it says, I wonder if lawsuit money exempt from the divorce settlement. I wouldn't have put it past Alex to wait a year or two. Girl, random. Girl, you know I was thinking that same thing. You know this situation with Cassie and Alex is not gonna last, okay? You know that shit not gonna last. Hell, I won't be surprised if Alex have been a plant all along. If people get pregnant for reality shows, you actually have people like Little Scrappy and Little Bambi. They be getting pregnant, married just for the sake of a reality show. Not really, it's what they want to do, but they're selling themselves for money and fame. I'm sure somebody will come in, and I'm sure the higher ups is paying Alex big buku money. Okay, okay. I think it, honey. I think the higher ups got their hand in all of this, in all of it. I really do. I do. I do. Um, yes, they will cover up the evil agendas and hurting children at whatever cost. Girl, you looking so cute, Emma. Y'all like this little this wig I got on with the braids and stuff? What y'all think? I thought it was something different, you know. Thank you for noticing. I really appreciate it. Okay, look, I got the little ponytail up here. Even though this ponytail is so thin, girl. Ooh, I wanted to knock them out when I saw this thin ass ponytail. I know you lying, but you know, whatever. Thank you so much. Gigi, look radiant. Thank you. Island girl, I really appreciate it. And mind you, I just put on this, what is this? Super gloop. This is what I use a lot of time. I love this super gloop. It's like it's sunscreen, but it got a glow, a screen glow to it. I know y'all don't want to hear about that, but anyway, I love their products. But Gigi talk about Gigi's Didi situation. I'm gonna talk about all of them situations. But I guess right now I'm just jumbling, ain't I? I'm just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, I would say a little bit about DDG before I get into it. I want to show you guys this video because clearly I'm just going to be jumbling between all three of these people, all three of these relationships. Y'all have to see this video. They are painting Hailey in such a bad light. Did y'all see this video? Press one if you seen this video. Look at this video. Hold on, I don't know if you can see it like that. So
Relationship, I think I have anxious attachment style. Everybody knows I'm an Aries, I'm a fire sign. I get very passionate. I seem nice online and innocent and everything, but you guys do not know. I will go to battle with my yelling, with my words, everything. I'm good at that, right?
Ooh, no, they didn't. Did y'all hear that? She said she would go to war. She would go to war, honey, with her words and her battle. She said, "I'm good at that." Just telling her herself. Okay, because you know, a lot of her fans, a lot of people are worshipers. They worship these celebrities. They can't do no wrong. It gets on my nerves, but it is what it is. And she said she pretty much she's showing that she is very feisty and she is very problematic behind the scenes. We don't see it because that's not part of her gimmick. Her gimmick is to be innocent and nice and sweet. So we don't see all of her. And DDG, on the other hand, we see all of his bad because he's an open book. He really does not hide who he is. But Hailey, she hides big parts of who she is because she cares about what people thinks, and she's like a Will Smith. You know how Will Smith gives like he's such like a perfectionist and he's a good boy, but Will Smith, he be at freak offs. He got a whole man on the side. He be hitting people like he did Chris Rock. So she got the Will Smith syndrome when it comes to Hailey Bailey. So let's look. It's some more to the video too. Let me put this back.
And if I gotta yell or check anyone, that's what I gotta do. That's just the way I be. Clap back or sit back. I always have to choose clap back. I'm sorry. I'm a very kind person, but if somebody pokes at me or the people that I love, it's over for you. I'm an Aries. Sorry. Never have I ever started drama with my boyfriend for no reason.
Put it down.
I you know.
All right, so the thing is, do she start drama with DDG for no reason? So Chloe pretty much exposed her and say, yeah, she does start a lot of drama with DDG for no reason. So, I mean, this may be true, but what Hailey said about DDG, it could be true too. Both of it can be true. I feel like both of it true. But then again, somebody could be lying. But I'm gonna take both of it. Whatever DDG say about her, I'm gonna be like, okay. And whatever she say about DDG, I'm gonna be like, okay. So that's how I see it. But I will say, can y'all please stop uplifting and worshiping when these celebrities start to be together and have these relationships? Because y'all idolize the bullshit. And it's so horrible that you guys don't have good judgment. You don't have good discernment because you guys are so shallow. You guys are so superficial. You see something that looks good, and all of a sudden you want what they have because of the aesthetics. You guys are so consumed with looks and aesthetics and materialistic. And then when you try to copy and you praying for God that you get what they get, and then you get what they get with, is a horror story, then you mad, then you want to play victim. And I don't got time for your ass. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. And it is what it is, okay? That's how I feel about it. But let's go back because it's more to this video.
I'm territorial. I'm a jealous girlfriend. I'm a territorial girlfriend. Where you go, who are you with? That's me. I am nosy, number one. Number two, I like drama. I just don't like drama in my life, but I love watching it in other people's. So, I love my baby so much. I need him with me in order to function, in order to be able to do the scenes and everything. So, he's been out here with me majority of the time. But this week, and I go home on the weekends. But this week, I had a lighter week, and I'm going home tomorrow. So I got here last night, and I'm going home.
All right. So CC29 says that she has the evidence. She has a chipped tooth and scars on her arm. She said, I hope she didn't do that to herself on purpose. No, I don't think she did that to herself on purpose. I think it's a big possibility that DDG has done that. I'm not saying that I don't feel that he is abusive. I've never once said that. I think he's always been a dog. And I think that she knew he was a dog. And I think she chased the dog. But I also feel that Hailey, she ain't innocent. I think that she's very problematic. I think as she confessed, she liked drama. She starts shit. She's a shit starter. She's very jealous. So, like I said before, when you are with a dog, it shows me exactly who you are because you are what you like. You are what you attract as well. So it was something about that darkness of DDG that resonated with Hailey. That's why she chased him. Hell. So that's how I feel about that. I'm not taking away that he bust her up But I feel like Hailey, she is a shit starter too, and she is not telling a full story. And they never tell the full story. They always tell one side to paint themselves as the victim. That's all I'm saying. Okay, that is all I'm saying. You must respect yourself. Half the people talking about DD don't even know him like that for real. Well, he have a bad reputation with a lot of people that are fans of Hailey. They did not like how DDG has disrespected Hailey throughout the years that we have seen. But hell, Hailey kept choosing him. Hailey didn't have to do that, but she liked it. She liked it. She liked it. Why do flies keep going to shit? They don't have to go to shit, but they go to shit because they like it. So she liked that shit. Just like Cassie, it was something about Diddy. She liked that shit. Who else? Meg the Stallion. You know Tory is a menace to is a menace. Hell, and they like drama, they like chaos, but they like to play in the fire, and when they get burned they like to play victim. That's all that is. And I guess when they play victim, when shit to the other people that they're accusing y'all of doing X, Y, and Z, I feel the same way. You played with fire and your ass got burned. If you dealing with a girl and y'all fighting and she called those cops on you and you know she's problematic, I feel the same way. You get what you get. DDG, you get what you get. People have warned you about Hailey. They warned you about her ass, but you still wanted to play in the fire and now your ass got burned. She could take down your whole career. And I don't feel sorry because you should have never got involved with that girl anyway. She should have never got involved with him. Y'all both problematic. Okay? That's how I feel about that. Okay? Who is DDG? He's a big influencer. He is massive. Okay? You got to check him out. All right. So I'll go back to DDG. So this is a fixed crime. They're talking about Diddy. So I want to go back here and see what you guys think about this. I'm going to pull this up here like that. All right, and see what they're saying.
Against Sean Diddy Combs takes the stand and testifies about the freak-offs that are at the center of the case against Combs and the abuse she says she suffered at his hands. I go through the most disturbing moments from Cassie Ventura's testimony so far. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. I just wanted it to be over. That's what Cassie Ventura told the jury in Sean Combs' trial about the freak-offs. The freak-offs were those sometimes days-long sex parties that Ventura would take part in with male sex workers. Ventura said Sean Combs directed the freak-offs, and she and Combs would find these male sex workers to take part in them using Craigslist. Ventura said Combs dictated everything: the use of baby oil, the sex acts that Ventura engaged in with the escorts, the drugs that were used, including Viagra, and the length of the freak-offs. The freak-offs took place in Combs' homes in several cities, in Ventura's homes, and in hotels across the globe. And in some instances, these freak-offs became violent. And federal prosecutors say they have proof of that. It's this video from a hotel hallway in Los Angeles in March of 2016. It shows Combs chasing Cassie Ventura out of a hotel suite. We've edited parts of it. Ventura says Combs hit and kicked her and dragged her back to the room when she tried to...
So this is a video that came out in a court today, and it's a 15-minute video. Now, the video is not 15 minutes of Diddy beating her. That's how they made it seem, but that is so far from the truth. I saw the video, and they played a part where Diddy, he put paws on her and kicked her around. Then this white guy come with a suit. Now, when a white guy comes with a suit, Cassie, she doesn't run. She didn't escape. And I'm thinking, this is a time where you can escape. People are saying during this time, they feel like she's on substances. She didn't say she was on drugs. I'm not sure. But Diddy was so upset. I don't know if he finished on his freak offs. I don't know if he was on drugs too. I'm sure he was on drugs. I'm sure if she was on drugs, he was on drugs. They all do some drugs when they're doing a freak off. So both of them are high on drugs. And they always doing this. And that's why America, they about to ban corn, and they about to put the Bible back in schools because you guys have gotten out of hand. You are heathens, and these freak offs and all this lust and this all this stuff. It just look every situation it in. DDG and Hailey fornicating, having kids out of wedlock, man oh man, and look at the foolishness it is causing. Okay? That's why we need to bring Bibles back in school. Because look at this mess. Look at this mess. Just notorious and nefarious, I tell you. All right, so let me continue to play. And I do have to tell you guys something because one of my subscribers, they got in their feelings about what I said. So I'm going to read to you guys about that. And I do want to reply to that, okay?
Leave a freak off. Ventura described it this way on the stand. When I chose to leave, I grabbed what I could and I got out, and Sean followed me into the hallway before the elevators and grabbed me up, threw me on the ground, kicked me, tried to drag me back to the room. He took my stuff, yeah. Ventura told Combs in a text that she wanted to take part in the freak off because she had a movie premiere, but she also didn't want to mess up her body.
Okay, so did you hear that? I get so sick and tired of y'all. Oh, he forced her. He forced her. He didn't force this grown woman. She wanted to participate because she was chasing Hollywood. She wanted to be a movie star. She wanted to be a celebrity. She wanted to play on the Devil's Playground. She was willing to sell her soul to do whatever she could to be a star. Okay? To me, I see her as a prostitute because she prostituted herself for Diddy. Diddy wanted a prostitute that would do these stuff with different guys, and she was a willing participant. She volunteered to be a freak off for Diddy, and he was giving her money and giving her a lifestyle and access to all this shit in order for her to do these freaky shit. You know, she could have walked away. She could have said, no, that's not me. I'd rather die right here before I do some shit like this. Plenty people have died for less. Plenty people have died for less. Okay, but let's go.
But she testified she told him she wanted to do the freak off so she wouldn't sabotage her movie premiere, which was coming up.
Okay, somebody said you wrong, G. Lisa, tell me how I'm wrong. Let's talk about it. Let's argue about it, Lisa. Tell me how I'm wrong. And I want you to communicate in the text, and I'm going to respond back to you. But Lisa, tell me how I'm wrong. I want you to go there. I'm waiting, Lisa. Okay? Classic manipulation. Is that what you're going to say when you go to God, Lisa? Are you going to say, I was manipulated, God? Is that going to fly? When you are playing on the devil's playground, when you are chasing Satan himself, you are going to get burned. And that is why it's so important for us to bring the Bibles back in these schools, because you all have lost your way. Yes. Yes, that's why they're going to do it. That's why they're going to take out corn and all of this. Because it's just too much. It's just too much. Shit. I feel like I got manipulated by the credit cards. What can I do about that? Okay? Shit, we all probably been manipulated. Hell. Okay? They said Stockholm Syndrome. So Stockholm Syndrome is, they say, when a person have a feeling towards abuser. If it is Stockholm Syndrome, who's at fault for that? Who is at fault if you have a Stockholm Syndrome? It is your job to get help. If you know you are suffering with an illness, if you know you suffer from low self-esteem, the last thing you need to do is chase Hollywood, right? The last thing you need to do is jump into the relationships, but you all do it. And that is why marriages are failing at a high rate. That is why every time you on social media, you see these relationships failing, these relationships, you guys are killing each other. It is doomsday. Every time I turn on this internet and my For You page, all I see is death, depression, desperate, depression, horrible story after horrible story. Because you guys do not deal with your issues. You run into a relationship hoping that the man is going to save you. When you haven't saved yourself, you got to save yourself. You have to do the work. And if you say, well, she's 19, if you 19, you shouldn't be in no relationship if that's the case. And then where's her parents? Did her father failed her? Did her mom failed her? If you know your kids is going through a condition, but at the end of the day, nobody is going to help you until you help yourself. People can cuddle you and say, oh my God, I feel so sorry for you all day long. But that person will get up and they will get to another situation that they've been manipulated in and again and again and again and again. They have to do the work to get it out. They have to want to get out. And she's been in there for 10, that's a long time, 10 to 11 years as a grown up. I mean, she was not 19 for those whole 10, 11 years. Okay. Diddy is a horrible person, yes, but Cassie did participate, and Cassie has to be accountable, and she has to deal with the shit she have done with, to herself and whatever belief she believes in. She's gonna have to answer for that. All right, so that's all that is. So what else? She's 19 and had to learn her lesson like the rest of us at 19. Well, I would say this. Just because we're all not equal. My 19 gonna look way different than her 19 because I was raised different. She was not probably raised with Christ in her life. Her father probably was not there. So everybody's story at 19 is going to be different. And people are 50-year-olds still making horrible decisions when it comes to relationship. People are 60 are still getting manipulated. Look at Sherry, what's her name? Sherry Strawberry and her man Ernest. Now they said that he manipulated her. I think she's just a fool. If you asking me, did he manipulate her? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's her responsibility to have discernment and to have better judgment. Hell, if you know you lack in judgment when it comes to stuff, stay away from it. Pray about it. Ask God, but y'all be jumping in because y'all into y'all feelings. When it comes to Cheryl Strawberry, I think she was just into her feelings. She had low self-esteem. She was desperate for a man. And I keep telling you, leave these men alone. How many times I got to tell you? I tell you in every post, leave these men alone. Leave the men alone. But y'all don't want to leave the men alone. You said men hate you, but you love to go with the men that hate you. That don't make sense. If these men hate you, leave the men that hate you alone, but you don't want to do that. You don't have the hard questions and ask these questions about ideology and what are your beliefs and what are your thoughts on certain things. And when he disagrees or have a different view, you look past that when it's red flags on a play and you going based on your feelings because you feel good. And then you get fucked up and then you want to play victim. When the red signs were there, when God told you don't go, you decide to go anyway. So at the end of the day, whether I agree to disagree, you're going to have to deal with that. So that's something that you're going to have to bear. If anything, I just want to prevent it. If anything, I want to be the voice in your mind that tell you, didn't Gigi told you to don't be with his ass? Gigi said don't pick up the phone. Gigi said don't go. You're going to take your ass and go anyway. Okay, you're going to get what you get. So hopefully you're going to stay your ass home and you're going to leave these men alone because my voice going to be in your head. Okay? Okay, you going to learn. And some of y'all not going to learn. Some of y'all forever going to be manipulated. Some of you always going to be a victim. And that's something that you're going to have to deal with, okay? Everybody is not going to hold your hand. Everybody's not going to cuddle you. We all have our own shit that we're dealing with. Hell, we are all victims in some type of situation. We live in America. We all are victims to something, okay? So that is that on that. How Cheryl Strawberry got an advice show and don't need advice. Some people are good at giving advice, but they're not good at taking the advice that they will give. You do have that, just like a lot of pastors. Some pastors, they're good at speaking the word, but they're not good living the word. They can't walk it, they can't talk it, but they can preach it to someone else. It's a lot of people that's like that. So that doesn't surprise me. But at the end of the day, she's going to have to deal with that, not me. So I don't know why people get up in their feelings when people disagree with them. I don't care if you disagree with me. If you feel like this person is that and that and that, I don't give a damn how you feel. I don't get mad because people disagree with me, you know? I just don't. But a lot of you all, you get so mad when people don't agree with you or when people don't see things your way. And that's very telling that you still deal with a lot of emotional issues yourself. We're all not going to believe the same thing. We're all not going to have the same viewpoint or perspective. So you have a long road ahead if you think we're all going to be thinking and having the same viewpoint that you do when it comes to this situation or even more. And how this administration about to take y'all on a ride, y'all gonna be very disappointed, okay? But we will see. We will see. All right, that's why I love you, Gigi. I respect you about you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you respecting me for my differences and me allowing other people to have a difference. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm gonna continue to play.
She then described in more detail what happened. Ventura said Combs hit her, so she decided to leave. An escort named Jules was still in the hotel suite at the time. Ventura said, after he hit me, and I just saw the result of it, I knew I had to get out. So when he was distracted, I don't know exactly what he was doing. He was either in the shower or on the phone. I just grabbed my stuff and ran out as fast as I could. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson then asked, and where were you headed when you ran out of the room? Ventura responded, I was headed home to my apartment. Johnson asked, what happened next? Ventura responded, I made it to the...
So hold on. She had her own apartment. Now, this was news to me because you all told me, or Cassie Puppet told me, that she was locked away in Diddy's tunnels. So she was not locked away in Diddy's tunnels. She had her own apartment. How she was playing for this apartment, I don't know. But it sounded like she said another man hit her. That would freak me out too. First of all, I would never be in a situation Cassie was in. I would never be doing that shit. You can't prostitute me. And people got upset. I do have gold digger tendencies, but let's make this clear. A gold digger and a prostitute, okay? Me, my gold digger tendencies, I'm never gonna be with the man I don't like. A man can't even offer me a cigarette if I don't like him. If a man offer me a cigarette and I don't like him, I say no thank you. If a man offer me a drink and I'm not interested, I say no thank you. I don't drink. Okay? However, if he's interested in me, I expect A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? And if you can't come with the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then hit the road, Jack, and I'm not interested in you either. Okay? And that's just how I play that game. But no, if I'm not gonna be with somebody and they want me to pee or boo boo and all that shit, and they say I'll give you this money, I give you no, because I'm not no damn prostitute. You can't prostitute me with no money. You can't prostitute me with your likes. You can't prostitute me with some subscription. Because people be like, well, I'm gonna take my subscription back because you said what you said. Okay, then. BS, go ahead, but you can't prostitute me. You can't okay, well, I'm gonna act this way so I can get your subscriptions and likes. I'm not playing that game. Okay. So that's just how I feel about that. It's a big difference. Okay. But what are y'all saying about that? It says Cassie claims she comes from a strong two-parent household. I can't tell. Where's her parents at? Well, I have never seen her father. I've never seen her mama either. But where her parents? I don't see her parents. Everything was so great. So how did she end up with the diddler? Because she's lying and she's a liar. She's a damn liar. Okay, she manipulating your ass. That's what she doing. Diggy. Hello, are we back? Okay, press 7 if we are back. Press 7 or we are back. Press 7. It's froze. Yeah, press 7. Are we back? Can you guys press 7 if we are back? Okay, let me tell y'all what happened. So my internet, it went off. So I had to reconnect it to my phone. So I apologize for that. My internet went off, but I'm so glad that I'm back and I'm so glad you guys are patient with me. I really like that about you all. Diddy wasn't peeing on her. Yeah, Diddy was not peeing on her. I watched a YouTuber talk about it, and they were like this. They were like, "Oh my God!" And yeah, he made them pee on each other, and it was so gross. And how they were painting it, it was like almost like, okay, this was all Diddy's fault, but Cassie didn't play a role in it, and the man didn't play a role in it. You guys are grown people. That is a grown man. He have a decision to say, I'm going to take the money and pee, or this is gross. Don't ever contact me. This is wicked. This is a ritual. This is demonic. And I'm not going to be a part. But he's not going to do it because he's a male prostitute. He is a stripper. He's playing on the Satan's playground. When people are very worldly, they are going to do worldly things. So it doesn't surprise me. What surprised me is when worldly people do worldly things and you are holding them to an account like they supposed to be this person with high morals and standards when they never had high morals and values. A person that's taking their clothes off for some money and you expect them to have high morals and values. Are you kidding me right now? Okay. So they all took part of that. You know, Cassie, she could have said, I'd rather take some pills and be out of here than to do some shit like this. But she participated because she wanted to be in the movies. And they said after he whooped her ass, she was going back to her apartment. She had her own apartment. We all have choices in life, you know. So people in their mind, they want to have this, oh, you're forced. I cannot give that sympathy. I feel that people in countries that don't have any rights, women don't have no rights in certain countries. Okay, I think that's forced. You know, I think a lot of people are in forced labor. I think kids are in forced labor in different countries. But when Americans talk about force, most likely these people in America, they do have choices. But it does not compare to kids in different countries that are being forced into labor. It doesn't compare to women that don't have any rights that's being forced into these marriages, to child marriage and other stuff like that. To me, that is definitely forced. People are being forced into religion that they don't want to convert into in different countries. To me, that is forced. But Cassie, she had multiple times and actions to leave, but because they said that she was dealing with a syndrome, you know, that she kept on running back. And that is her pain to bear. Did she get treatment for that syndrome? Did she recover from that syndrome? I don't know. Okay. Hell, she could have been having a syndrome with Alex. All we know, I don't know. You know, but that is people are giving her an excuse to say, hey, we can't, whatever she did that was horrible, even if it was messing with kids, we have to excuse that because she suffered from syndrome. Hell, anybody can say that, but you know, it's their opinion to have. All right, so I'm going to continue to play.
Elevators. I got my sneakers on, and then the next thing I knew, I was just thrown to the ground. Ventura continued. Yeah, it was really fast, thrown to the ground. Johnson asked, you said you got your sneakers on when you got to the elevator. Where were your sneakers before? Ventura responded, my sneakers, I think, were in my bag. I just ran out without any shoes. Johnson asked, why did you run out without any shoes? Ventura responded, faster. Johnson asked, you said you were thrown down in the elevator lobby. Who threw you down? Ventura responded, Sean. He grabbed me by the back of my neck and my hoodie and just threw me to the ground. This is another law and crime legal alert. If you received Depo-Provera birth control shots and were later...
Okay, I'm going to fast forward that. We're talking about birth control shots.
Throughout the freak-offs, Cassie said there were sessions. In between the sessions, she and Combs would take more drugs. And she said there were times she suffered side effects from the drugs, and she admits she would often take them just to cope. Johnson asked, "How often would you get sick from taking MDMA or ecstasy?" Ventura responded, "Almost every time, like before the actual high hit, I would feel like vomiting. It was usually like a normal thing." Johnson asked, "Would you vomit or would you just feel nauseous?" Ventura responded, "I would actually vomit, yeah." Johnson asked, "Did Sean know about the effects that ecstasy and MDMA had on you?" Ventura responded, "Yeah." Johnson.
All right. Kavan said she didn't get paid for the freak off, only the men that participated in. I don't know about that, Kavan. She got something. She got introduced to a lifestyle. Who was paying her apartment, Kavan? Was she working at Target? Was she working at Myers? Who was paying for her to eat? Who was paying for the dresses? Who was paying for the stuff that she did? The money had to come somewhere, and I'm sure Diddy was giving her some type of form of something because she's a transactional type of girl. Cassie is not going to do anything for nothing. Do you think a homeless man can get Cassie to do this? Do you think a man on the street can just say, "Come here, ho. Come here, Cassie. I want you to suck on my toes. You better do it because if you don't, I'm going to beat your ass, girl." Okay? If that's the case, any random man can come up there and threaten her, and she going to go back, and she going to keep coming back to him and keep coming back to him and keep coming back to him because she's scared of the man. You know, if that's the man, can you imagine how many men would try to put fear in you to get you to do some shit? Every time you walk down the street, somebody gonna flinch so you can keep coming back to have that damn syndrome. So, I don't believe she was doing all this for free. I definitely feel like it was transactional. What is that? I'm not sure, but I'm sure she was getting that apartment and all that shit paid for. You know, that's how I feel about it. But how she got her apartment and all the stuff that she have? How does she pay for that? Do you guys know of a job that I didn't know about? Is she a lawyer on the side? I mean, we know she wasn't working in the industry, and the stuff that she did had, it came from Diddy. But other than that, she was broke. She wasn't making no money on her own. Okay, but let's continue on. Can y'all please tell me what she did for a living?
And asked how. Ventura responded, "Because he would see me in the bathroom or I would tell him so he would just know." Johnson asked, "What, if anything, would Sean say when you got sick from MDMA or..."
All right, so you guys hear that? They said Diddy was paying for it. They said that in court. So, Kavan, she was doing all this stuff because Diddy was paying for her lifestyle. So she was not doing it for free. And to me, that is prostitution. I'm doing something in exchange. You're doing something for me. It's not about love. It's not about I care for you. This is a transactional situation. This is business. And that's why when they're saying that they feel like, Diddy was having a criminal enterprise, I do agree with that because I do feel that Diddy hired Cassie to be his prostitute. That's my belief. I believe that this is a prostitution pimp relationship. That's my belief. Okay, what is yours? All right. Do you guys think that this was transactional? Press one if you think this was transactional. Let's go. Nothing is. Let me tell y'all, nothing in life is free. If somebody is doing something for you, they're gonna want something. Didn't y'all parents teach y'all that when y'all was kids? Hell.
or ecstasy? Ventura responded, "He didn't say much, but if we were in the freak off, he would be encouraging me to get up and continue on with it in that condition." Those were not the only drugs Ventura said Combs would ask her or escorts to take. Johnson asked, "Were there any occasions where Sean offered the escorts drug?"
All right. She said she hated it. She didn't like it. And that's a form of prostitution. Do you think the prostitutes like what they do? Press 1 if you think prostitutes like what they do. Press 4 if you feel like they don't like what they do. I don't know many, but I talked to a few and they can't stand what they do. They have to do some sick shit for these clients. But when you're doing something, you're selling your soul as well. That is a form of selling your soul because you have morals and values that you stand on, but you disregard that and you sell your soul doing some stuff that you're against, but you're doing it for money. That is selling your soul. That is a form of prostitution. You should listen to Tisa and Mims. No, I'm just going to depend on you. Okay. I don't want to go to them. I want you to come back and I like how you tell it. Okay. I like when you put it in the comment section. Okay. So I don't want to go to them. I want to depend on you. All right. Okay. Let's go.
Looks like Viagra. Ventura responded, yeah. Johnson asked, and who else besides escorts did Sean offer Viagra to? Ventura responded, he offered it to me before. Johnson asked, and what did he say about you taking Viagra? Ventura responded that it has the same effect on women, just sensitivity. Johnson asked, do you take the Viagra that he offered you? Ventura responded,
Ooh, he got to take pills? They should really ban that. I don't know if Trump is going to do it, but I feel like they should ban it. I feel like y'all talk about natural, right? And I feel like they should ban Viagra. I feel like it's not natural for a grown man that's in their 50s and 60s to do stuff like that. I feel like it's unnatural and I feel like it should be banned. I feel like you should just grow old naturally without those urges, you know? Just leave it alone, you know? That's how I feel about it. Do y'all feel like it should be banned? Press 1 if you feel like Viagra should be banned. Press 2 if you feel like it should not. I'm voting for the ban it. Ban it. Okay, let's go.
I did. Johnson asked, and how did you feel? Ventura responded, sensitive and engorged. Johnson asked, did you want to take the Viagra? Ventura responded, no. I thought, no, I didn't. Johnson asked, when escorts were having trouble getting erect, what, if anything, did you observe affected their inability to get erect? Ventura said, like I said before, just the distraction of seeing Sean move around, maybe just hearing his voice. Ventura said the freak-offs were carefully choreographed, with Combs dictating how they unfolded. Johnson asked, how would you know when to make that move? Ventura responded, I would just do it and hope that it would be accepted timing-wise, or he told. Johnson asked, who would tell you? Sean would tell me. When you would ask Sean if you could move from masturbation to touching, why would you ask him? Ventura said, it was his fantasy. He was controlling the whole situation. He was directing it. He was doing the lighting. He was telling us where to be, what to say, how to act in the room. Johnson then asked, and you testified that you would sometimes move straight to oral sex. Why would you want to move?
Okay, this is a little bit too graphic. Okay. So CC29 says, so freaky parties are illegal. No, they're not illegal, but they might be in the future. I won't be surprised if that's going to be illegal. You know, corn is going to be illegal. Gay sex is going to be illegal. All of it going to be illegal. Transgender, that's going to be illegal. Everything going to be illegal. We're moving more conservative, okay? Because y'all don't know how to act, okay? Interracial dating going to be illegal. Okay, what else? All of it going to be illegal. All right, so I'm going to fast forward it because I don't want to hear that type of talk.
To the male sex workers. Johnson asked, when you were reaching out to an escort, what, if anything, would you say to the escort about what you were hiring that escort to do? Ventura responded, it depended on the situation, how they came in, but I would usually say that my husband is into something called voyeurism and he likes to watch me with another man. It was like a basic conversation that I had with most of the escorts. From there, I would get a feel if they were willing to do it or not. Later, Cassie started to piece together why she was instructed to ask certain questions in the screening process. Johnson asked, you just said that sometimes Sean asked you to ask if a person was a cop, right? Ventura responded, yeah. Johnson asked, and you said later.
All right, so she goes around and she hires prostitute. To me, it sounds like she's a prostitute. She a prostitute that hire other prostitutes. Okay? And that's just how I see it. I don't need to go into detail because you guys know it's a lot of freaky, nasty, gross stuff.
To get her or forcing her, coercing her, and that's part of the statute, to take part in these freak offs. And this entailed physical and verbal emotional abuse when it didn't go the way he wanted it to.
Right. So, we only have the reports from this.
So when she says that, I don't know. I still haven't saw that picture yet of the coercion or force. I think they're talking about force when she ran out of the hotel room. That was a freak off. So that's what they're describing because Diddy, fought her after that. So they're saying, okay, you beat her because the freak off didn't go well and you fought her to bring her back into the freak off. But she went back, she walked back into the room. I mean, she could have left when that white guy came there, but they're saying because she was on drugs and she was on something that is part of coercion, meaning that you're giving somebody substances where they can't make up their mind. But then again, did he force the pills down her throat? Did he sneak the pills or did she took it willingly? Did she know that she was on drugs? And from what she says that she took the drugs willingly. She says sometimes she didn't want to take them, but she took them anyway. Well, I don't want to do a lot of stuff, but I do it. I don't want to do homework, but I do it. I mean, So I think if he forced them pills down her throat or spiked it, I think that's a different story. But because she did not want to do it, but she did it anyway, that is just bad judgment. And she could have just said no. Yeah, she's afraid she's going to get her ass whooped. But if you don't want to do something, you don't want to do it. If you're afraid to get your ass whooped, you're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff because you are afraid. So you're going to have to change or you're going to have to stop. You're going to have to do something shit to get a different outcome. And if not, you're going to be scared your whole life, doing horrible things your whole life because you're not scared. And I guess that's why people tend to go to religion or go to God because God will give you strength. God will give you courage. God does not walk into fear. Once you have God on your side, you don't have to worry. You don't have to fear about anything because the battle is already won. And this life is just temporary. And hey, it is what it is. So let me play this a little bit more.
She was in love with a man who was then trying to get her or forcing her.
All right. So I don't know. I disagree with this part. She was not in love with the man. First of all, Cassie didn't love herself. To do stuff like this, you don't love yourself. You just don't. You don't love yourself. To have sex with all these men, they were in an open relationship. She was having sex with other men. I mean, everything she was doing was wicked. It was all wicked. It was all fornication. It was all playing on the devil's playground, all doing it raw. She was not in love with him. How can you be in love with somebody and you don't love yourself? How can you be in love with somebody and you freaking off with other men? Okay, but this is what they will want you to believe, that she was so in love with him. And if you're in love like that, can we just ban love? Can we ban the fucking love? Because love is causing y'all to do diabolical things. Love is calling y'all to do nefarious things. If this is what you guys are calling love, then I don't want no parts of love. Can we stop pushing love? Because love have gotten a lot of y'all fucked up. Love have gotten a lot of kids here that are bastards. Love have did a lot of destruction of what y'all call love. I don't call that shit love, but that's what y'all call love. So they said that she was in love with this man, and that's why she did it. Bullshit. She did not love that man. She hated that man. She despised that man. She despised Diddy for making her do stuff that she didn't want to do. How could you love someone that you're scared of? Which one is it? Do you love him or are you scared of him? It just not adding up, okay? The one thing you scared, next minute you love him. You in love. But I guess they said that's what Stockholm syndrome is when you scared and you love them. Okay. Okay. Well, let's go.
her, coercing her, and that's part of the statute.
But let me ask you something. If Diddy was broke, he didn't have no money, do you think that she still would have stayed around? If Diddy could not offer her no apartments, he couldn't offer her no money. If he did not have that fame, he was just Diddy. Do you think that she would still be in love with that man? Press one if she would still be in love with that man. Press nine, hell no, because he has nothing to offer her. It was a transactional relationship, and it's nothing wrong with it. I'm not hating on that transactional relationship. I'm just calling a thing, okay? I don't hate that it's a transactional relationship, but you're not going to make me believe some shit that's you putting 50 on 10. And I think they put 50 on 10 because one, the higher ups is being pushed in the media to push a narrative, because at the end of the day, this case really don't have nothing to do with Cassie and Diddy. They just using Cassie's situation to destroy Diddy. But it has everything to do with Diddy's enemy. And I think that's the best strategy to do it. Like when you want to get payback against your enemy, you allow the pawns to get your payback for you. You don't step off your throne. Hell no. I'm gonna get the pawns to do the work. Okay. But they never show their face and they never show their hand. The higher ups. That is another reason why they're so powerful. Because you don't even know them. All right, let's continue on.
To take part in these freak offs. And this entailed physical and verbal emotional abuse.
All right. Someone said Diddy is not innocent. Diddy is a monster. Diddy is Satan's son. How many times have I said that? Press one if I've always said that Diddy's a Satan's son. Press one. I've always said that. And I think that you guys feel like to have Cassie accountable, then you're painting Diddy to be innocent. No, he is Satan's son. Now, pretty Mimi, you got in the car with Satan. I told you don't get in that car, Mimi, but you got in the car with Satan. You got in the car with Satan. Now you crashed all out and you messed up. And now you want to play the victim. When the signs were there and you got in the car with him, what did you think was going to happen, sweetheart? And then you get back in the car with him for another ride and another ride and another ride. So, Mimi, you have to be accountable for getting in the car with Satan. You have to be, because you wanted to go for a ride. Now, we never said that Satan is innocent, but you wanted to be close to him. You wanted, what they say, proximity to power, proximity to fame. Okay? You sold your soul, girl. Okay? All that pissing and shitting y'all doing. Okay? Okay. It's politically motivated. Why show take the money, then show up with the baby and not buy him too? Because they're putting on a show. I mean, both sides are putting on a show. Both sides gonna, and Cassie, she have to put 50 on 10. They have to, do the whole show. I mean, this is a show, honestly. You know it's a show. It feels like a show. This is the fucking show. And I want to see the white elites. They want to destroy Diddy. They want to destroy all of them. They have to rebuild or deconstruct the whole industry to rebuild it. And Diddy is one of the people they must take out. And it could be a damn sacrifice. People are saying this right here is a humiliation sacrifice they have to do for the rebirth of the new world order when it comes to music. And it has been written. So this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And how do I feel about that? Oh, well, so be it. Like I said before, I'm on neither side. I'm on Diddy's side nor Cassie's side. I'm just on the right side, okay? That's just that. Uh-huh. Let me play a little bit.
when it didn't go the way he wanted it to.
Right. So, we only have the reports from the scene, which have been very helpful in kind of following this trial. Multiple people who were in that courtroom reporting as it goes. And it sounds like she's doing a pretty good job testifying. The reports are that she's well-spoken, soft-spoken, that she didn't look at Combs directly when she came into the court. So she's a little bit low key, which I think is the right look for this. And the prosecution is using her expansively, not only as a witness about the abuse she suffered, allegedly, but about the nature of his alleged criminal enterprise and the people under his command and all sorts of other things. So she's covering an awful lot of ground. It's hard to know exactly how that's hitting the jurors.
One of the quotes from her was, when you really care about somebody and you're in love with them, you don't want to disappoint them. And she was talking about, participating in these freak-offs. And so she's wiping away tears as she says this, according to the report.
That is some sick shit right there. When you're in love with someone, you don't want to disappoint them. That is some sick shit right there. I don't know who told y'all that. If your husband that you love wanted you to get a ding dong and stick it in his donut and eat his shit, would you do it? Because you love him and you don't want to disappoint him? That's some sick shit. I've never heard them some shit like that. That's some made up shit. Press 2 if you would do it. Press 9, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Because you know that if a person loved you, you wouldn't do it. They wouldn't ask you to do shit. And you know if you love yourself, you wouldn't do it. That's why I said she could not have loved herself. She don't love herself. And when you don't love yourself, it's impossible for you to love someone else. You don't even have boundaries and respect for yourself. And she knows she know this was not about no love. I don't know why she keep on pushing this love shit. It ain't. I would never believe that. Like I said, this is a prostitution and whole situation. She know it ain't got nothing to do with no goddamn love. I feel I respect her more if she said, hey, this was some prostitution, ring shit we was doing. I was his bottom bitch. Okay, I went out and I got the niggas form and we tripped off together. You know what I'm saying? He give me the money to get at them and I put on a show for him and I go and I hire other people. She was Diddy assistant to the freak offs. She was the bottom bitch. She was the assistant. This wasn't no marriage. This wasn't no fucking relationship. Hell, this was a freak. She was an assistant to the freak off. The bottom bitch. That's all it was. And she was jealous because she didn't want nobody else to play her position. Okay, she wanted to be a part of hip hop. She wanted to be part of that mafia lifestyle. Hell, she probably got off being a bad girl. That's how I feel about it. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Erica, girl. Hey, we going out tonight, Erica. Hey, we going out tonight.
It's coming out of the courtroom, and according to the transcripts. So she's describing, there's a dynamic here between her and Combs. There's an age difference. There's a power difference. Obviously, he's one of the most powerful people in the entertainment industry. She says she's in love with him. She gets roped into these freak-offs. We saw the video. The video plays for the hotel video with the beating, plays for the jury. That's got to be pretty powerful stuff for a jury to see that video and then listening to Cassie talk about this.
Yeah, the video is really shock and awe, and I understand the prosecution wanting to get that video out there at the outset of this trial. That shows genuine physical abuse. There's really no way around that. The rest of the story is more complicated. They're in a long-term relationship. She says she loves him. It sounds like maybe he loves her. There's some behavior that seems like it might be consensual, but Anjanette, it is 2020.
Can we start with the love? Y'all get me, y'all annoy me with the love. Y'all don't love each other. Y'all don't love yourself. Diddy don't love himself. All this stuff that he's into, he don't love himself. He got problems. None of y'all love yourself, so y'all can't love each other. Okay? Can y'all please give love a break? Just like sexy. I can't stand it. Everybody's sexy. You ain't sexy. Okay? Just because y'all out here looking naked, that ain't sexy. Hell, just because you out here turking your ass, that ain't sexy. Everybody think they sexy. And that's why we need to bring common sense back. Okay? I get so tired of y'all talking about y'all sexy and you ain't. I get so tired. I love them. You don't love them. You don't even love yourself. But we can't say that no more. We can't judge. We can't shame. But we are bringing common sense back, baby. Okay, all this shit gonna stop. Mm-mm-mm.
25. So we understand now that things like power are important in a relationship, and that there can be abuse in a relationship even if there is love, even if there is some consent. You can still find that there is abuse. This is at its core.
All right, so they saying that power, Diddy was powerful, but that same power was the thing that attracted Cassie to him, was his power. All right, so let's move on because I do want to talk a little bit about DDG, and then we can just end it with Meg and what's his name? Tory.
Halle Bailey filed a police report allegedly she's claiming that DDG put hands on her, and now she wants a court order protection from the father of her child. Now, in the police report, Halle said that she broke up with DDG back in October, and since then they have been having issues when it comes to child visitation, and she has been trying to have conversations with him about it. And back in January, she tried to have a conversation with him, and things got physical. DDG came to her house to pick up Halo, and while Halle was putting Halo in the car, DDG was getting frustrated, and he was ready to go, and he really didn't want to have a conversation with her, but she was trying to talk to him about child visitation. He got so mad and screamed, "Get out my car, B!" And Halle got nervous because Halo started crying, so she didn't want to leave the car because Halo was crying. So DDG was trying to force her to get out the car. The report says that's when they allegedly started wrestling, with DDG pulling her hair, slamming her face on his steering wheel, and chipping her tooth. Halle said she was in pain and crying. Although that stopped the fighting, she was still worried about Halo, so she remained in the car for the ride over to DDG's house, where she told his family what happened in the car. Now, once DDG family told her they'll take care of the baby, she left. She had bruises on her arm. She had a chipped tooth. She was in pain. She did attach the pictures to her restraining order. And also in the police report, she said allegedly that DDG creeped her out back in March when he showed up at her home and entered without permission and went to her bedroom and texted a picture of Halle's empty bed to her, along with the text message, "Now I know what you've been on, LOL." Halle says she interpreted the text as DDG accusing her of having sex with other people. 4 days later, she claimed he really exploded when he came back to her house. Halle told him that she and the baby were sick and she didn't want Halo to leave home, and she claimed that's when he got verbally abusive.
Ooh, girl, it's so hard being a woman out here in these streets. Oh my God. Oh my God, these men hate these women. They hate them. They hate them. They hate them. Mind you, this man been acting like this since the beginning. He been acting like this since the beginning. So it is wrong what he have done, but I'm all about prevention. When you see a red flag, that is your responsibility to get out. It was red flags before she even got with this man that this whole thing could have been prevented. We didn't have to go here. We did not have to be here, but we got here because someone did not want to listen. Someone did what they wanted to do. And now someone is getting horrible results. Okay. And both of them got horrible results. DDG, this is a big stain on you. You know, this is going to affect you. This is going to follow you everywhere you go. If you try to elevate, this will always be a stain on your name because you don't. What is wrong with you, DDG? You should have just stayed with the whores and the prostitutes, you know? they ain't gonna say shit. They gonna take the abuse. They used to abuse. It's normal to them. They like it. And yes, some girls like the fucking abuse. Press one if you know some girls that like the fucking abuse. Press two if you don't. No girl would ever want that bullshit. Bullshit. Yes, 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 yes. Some women always wanted that when I was young. A man ain't a man if he can't hit me. If he ain't gonna knock me out and put me in my place, I don't want him because he's a simp. Some girls have that mentality. And some men have that mentality where they feel like they need to put hands on their women. You know? So I don't know if you guys know your history. I'm not saying it's right. I think it's wrong for anybody to hit on anybody. But we're talking about society and how society thinks and society believes. Society in the past, if the husband beat on the wife and she called the cops would not take the husband and arrest him because they don't want to break up a family. So they would tell the husband just to walk it off. And I think they're going to push that same type of ideology in the future. So you guys better be prepared, okay? Things are about to reverse. You guys know we are in a Trump administration. And we know how he feels about women. Okay, even though he shows women a lot of support. Okay. Women's Month. Okay. But I definitely feel like he's using women to get rid of the transgenders. And once he have gotten rid of the transgenders, he have got rid of the immigrants and the blacks, I think then he's going to turn on women. Okay. That's just my theory of it. But yeah, let's continue to hear what they have to say.
And smashed her Ring camera and ran away with Hallie's phone. As he drove off, she claimed that DDG threw the phone out the window and yelled to her, "Go get it, B." The incident prompted Hailey to go file a police report, and she says she also has a Ring footage to back up her side of the story. Now, this all happened when DDG went live that time, and he was saying how Hailey wasn't allowing him to see his son, and he wanted to see his son. Well, she's saying that's the day when he threw her phone and got verbally abusive. But for Hailey, the final straw came just last weekend when she said that she was vacationing with Halo and her sister in St. Lucia, and she said that DDG texted her a link to social media post claiming that she was on the island with singer Brent Fires. Hailey replied, "Not with any man out here, I wouldn't do that. I have Halo. Please let me enjoy my Mother's Day in peace. I hope you're okay and feel better soon." Well, the judge did grant Hailey a restraining order requesting DDG to stay 100 yards away, and the judge also gave her permission to take their son to Italy, where she'll be filming a movie for 2 months. DDG also has to stop posting and streaming about her and the child. Hailey claims that DDG has been whipping his fans into a frenzy by trashing her when he live streams. Y'all leave your comments down below. We definitely gonna get into this conversation tomorrow because...
All right. So how do I feel? I can't blame Hailey. Hailey, do what you gotta do for your sanity. If this the takes you gotta take, if you gotta destroy DDG, let the games begin. Hell, y'all gonna destroy each other. I was not for y'all in the beginning. I knew this was a doomsday. I knew you guys were a disaster. I knew this was a horrible situation. You guys getting together, shacking up together, fornicating together, creating bastards. I knew this was horrible. I knew it. And I told y'all this, but y'all don't listen. Chloe, you too. You pick horrible men. You constantly in horrible situations too. So y'all really need to go heal because I think they both deal with syndromes or some type of syndromes that they need to go help with. Is it a clinic or is it a place where people that suffer from those syndromes that they can go and get help? Press 9 if it's a place where they can, those girls that suffer from syndromes, they can go get some help. Press 10 if it's not. If it's not, they need to create these clinics and therapies. So these ladies and men, if they got that issue too, to go get some self-help before getting involved in a relationship so they won't get manipulated and won't have to be a victim out here in these streets. Okay. So yeah, what are y'all thoughts about it? Daddy issues? Yeah, go get some help. And it's your job to do so. Let me make this clear. It's not a man's job to cure your daddy issues. That's your issue. You have to figure that out with your therapist. It's not your husband's job. It's not your boyfriend's job. Okay, to do your symptoms. A lot of y'all think that. A lot of you guys get with these men and you want them to fix you. You want them to heal you. That's not their job. Not if they decide to do so. I don't know. I would tell a man, don't you get involved. Don't get involved with that motherfucker. She's crazy. Okay? She's gonna pretend and act like you helping her when shit don't go her way. She's gonna spaz out. She's gonna set you up and she's gonna destroy you. When you don't want to be with her no more, she will destroy you. She will destroy you and she will put 50 on 10 and lie and set you up. So don't even involve yourself with that. Get someone that is whole, that have common sense, that is not dealing with no syndromes. So you can really love and care about them, because she's going to say you manipulated her and she didn't want to do none of the shit that you had her doing in a relationship, and she did it for love, and you manipulated her, you took advantage of her. She's going to play the victim on your ass. So if you mans, I wouldn't get involved. I wouldn't do that shit. Ooh, tell somebody else to go do it. Somebody else go fix her ass. Or go to Jesus. Go to God. Okay. They go to all these men, but they don't go to God. No, they like to get on their knees for all these men, don't they? But they don't get on their knees for Jesus. Huh? They quick to jump from bed to post, pillow to post with these men. But they not quick to go to church and get on their knees for Jesus. Okay? Ooh, that's the problem. Be a groupie for Jesus. Okay? Can they do that? Can they be a groupie for Jesus? They don't want to do that. Okay? They don't want to do that. Whew, my goodness. If they would just listen to the word, they would not be in this situation, would they? Cassie would not be in this situation because, first of all, she wouldn't be fornicating if she would listen to God's word. What do he say about fornication? Same with Hailey. If they would listen to, think about it. See, the word is there to prevent you from a lot of drama. Okay? If they were to listen to God's word, Hailey would not be in a situation. Megan Thee Stallion would be in a situation. When you think about it, I'm not religious, but right is right. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? If they were to listen to God's word, would they be in these situations? Press 10 if they would not be in none of these situations. Press 20 if, yeah, they could. Yes, they would. I don't think so, because all of it resolves around fornication. If Meg was not shacking up with Tory Lanez, it would never got that far. It would have never got that far. It got that far because y'all was effing around, feelings involved, and lust involved, and drinking involved, and all this toxic and demon times was involved that caused that. If Hailey would have kept that kitty cat locked up until DDG was man enough to marry her and to commit to her, which he would never do because that's not who he is, she would never be in a situation because she would never be with DDG because that is not who he is. He is not a man of commitment. He is not a man of faith. He is not a man of principles. You know? If Cassie would have kept that cat locked up for a man of God, she would not be she would not be with Satan, hell, you know? All this shit could have been prevented. Okay? It all could have been prevented, man. And the same for the fellas. You know, if these men live for God, live the word of God, they would not be in these situations. That goes without saying. But these men, they choose to be on demon time. They love it there. They don't want any other way. But the men are not coming out as victims, you know? So the men, when they get hurt, they just take it on a chin and they just keep pushing. You know, they just take it and keep pushing versus when it don't go the way Hailey wants it to go, then she's going to come out and say blah, 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 blah. People are saying that Hailey put pause on DDG before. I don't know. This is just what they say, But it all could be prevented. So comment, I want to know what y'all think about it. It says they too busy trying to be slick. They get caught up in the dog mess. Then they want to cry victim. They get caught up on Satan's playground and they get burned. And then they want to play victim. But they purposely decide to go on Satan's playground. If I go out tonight and I go to a secular club, okay, and God forbid, I hope it don't, but something happened to me. It's not my fault that happened to me, but then if I'm going out at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to a horrible neighborhood at a bar, I think I should be accountable. Hell, you gonna say, what the fuck you was doing down there? Hell, how could this been prevented? You stand your black ass out of those type of areas, but you go there not knowing nobody. Even if you know somebody, you go there. That is very risky. It's not your fault that a person hit you up on side your head with a bottle. But then again, you did put yourself in that risky environment. If I go into the woods, and something happened to me, is it my fault? Is it my fault? I mean, when I went to the woods, I didn't ask for nothing to happen to me. But you did take your ass in the woods. What you doing in the woods? And it is a possibility that something horrible could happen in the woods. You know that. It's a risk. Why would you go in the woods? Anything can happen to you in the woods. But it's not your fault if something happened to you in the woods. But you have to be accountable. If you go in the woods and something happened to you, you should not be going in the woods. This shit could have been prevented. Okay? How do y'all feel about going into the woods? Okay? Do you see it? Do you see it? Okay? Man, oh man. If you had a daughter and she wanted to go into the woods at night, and in them woods, it's a lot of horrible things. You have heard people getting knocked out in them woods, killed in them woods, but she want to take her ass in the woods. What do you tell her? And when something happened in the woods, you have people say, oh my God, that's sad. And it is sad. It is horrible. But they never tell her, don't go into the woods. They just say, it shouldn't have happened. So she go back into the woods because everybody was cut on her. Nobody's telling her the truth. Don't go into the woods. Nobody's telling her the risk of going into the woods. So she keep going back into them goddamn woods until she dead. Hell. Okay? But if she has somebody to tell her, get your ass out them woods. This can happen to you in the woods. This and that. Maybe she's still going to be hard-headed and do it and go in the woods. Now, if she do that, who's to blame? You got to be accountable for some actions that you take, goddammit. Goddamn. Hell. Okay. CC29 said, go in the woods if you want to. When you don't come back, don't come crying this way. Exactly. But people will demonize you. You shouldn't say that about her. She didn't ask to get hurt in the woods. You should be able to go in the woods and just be able to do what you want to do. Hell, gay people should be able to go to Nigeria, right? And do what they want to do. But we know they can't do it, okay? Because it is a death penalty. For anybody that's gay to be in Nigeria, they can't come out. Should they be able to come out in a certain world, but they can't do it, or they're going to meet a death penalty. So life is not all roses. Life is not all, you get to do what you want to do and how you want to do it, and you don't have to face any consequences, and everybody's going to cuddle you. I think that is a delusion that people have pushed, and I think this administration is going to hit people really hard with a reality that they're not ready for. Okay? I really think that is. All right, let me get on out of here. I appreciate you guys for listening to me. talk about these topics. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed me as I enjoyed you all. And I see you guys tomorrow. And I'm out. Bye.